We are back with our post-game coverage of the 2021 FIDE World Chess Championship. We continue to roll on, welcoming in our next very special guest. But first, we say again that our last guest is brought to you by Grip6. Remember, you can go to grip6.com/chess. You can use the promo code CHESS to get 25% off all the cool things that they have there, belts, wallets galore. We're going to dive right in now because we can't not wait. I cannot wait to welcome in our next guest, a good friend of mine, someone who is just burst onto the scene in the chess world. You were already on the scene in the rap game, but now you burst onto the chess scene this year.
Yes, I'm a GM.
You're a GM. I think we made you GM at one point, an honorary GM.
On
that's why you didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's right. You're in Fabiano's chair, so you're in the 2800 player GM chair. But
You know, I bought a chessboard just because he had signed it
Fabiano,
online. Yeah, I'm trying to be cool over here, but like,
it's Fabiano Caruana over there.
yeah, it's pretty
Well,
awesome.
everyone's a fan of someone. You obviously have millions of fans around the world, and we're going to dive into so much. We want to talk with you about what's going on with you, your music, your new book. But before we start with that, I think because this is a chess show, the World Chess Championship, people would want to know, who taught you to play chess? How long have you been playing? Give us a little bit of your how Logic got into chess story.
You know what's hilarious is, first of all, when we first met,
Yeah,
I always thought you had like a voice for when you talk to the camera,
yeah.
but it's the same.
It's the same voice. You know, Eric, my CEO and partner, always says that to me, that I project like I'm broadcasting all the time. Sometimes it's irritating when you're in the car. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, no, it's great. I love it. I was taught to play chess by convicts.
Okay.
So I was at a place called the Pre-Release Center because my upbringing, which I talk about in one of these books here, This Bright Future, my memoir, was very, I was poor and surrounded by drugs and violence and all this other stuff just as a kid. And with that, my mom would date men that would be in and out of correctional facilities. And yeah, so I when she would go like visit these men, I would play chess. And I learned how to play chess with these people who were very patient and kind. And I just always loved it and appreciated it. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago that I went extra ham.
Yeah.
And like I play like 15 3-minute games a day minimum. Like I wake up,
Yeah.
I'm like playing on the toilet. Like
Yeah,
I just am constantly playing it. Yeah, I love it. So yeah.
Yeah.
And what about chess inspires you? And like, what's been your favorite chess moment?
I think the thing that I love most about chess is how much it shows you about yourself. It's a big mirror, and there's elements or certain parts of my life that I'm impatient, and there's certain parts that I'm very patient. And I think when I want to learn, when I'm excited to learn something new, like a position or theory on a certain line, shout out Joe Bruin. Joe Bruin, I love you. Shameless plug.
That's
Joe
your coach
Bruin
over there.
Yeah, it's my boy. Anyway, so
Twitch.tv/Joe Bruin.
/Joe Bruin. Yes, but love you, Joe. When I'm learning, I'm so patient. Like I love to soak it all in, and that's how I feel about anything. Whether I'm learning guitar, when I was learning it, now I utilize that in my music and different stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So, but yeah, man, chess is life.
What are some similar? I mean, you just mentioned similar to when you're doing your music. What are some similarities for you in the process of trying to get better as a chess player? Remembering back of as you were trying to master your craft in music.
I think it's one repetition for sure. You have to keep playing chess, but also don't. Okay, so sometimes I just play and I don't review my games, and I'm like
Guilty of that as well.
yeah, I'm just like, no, I just want to play. I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I just want to have fun, even if I'm in the studio, right? It's like you could be in the booth and maybe you're singing or rapping or you do something and it's not in the perfect key it doesn't matter. You're just having a good time.
Yeah.
You're exploring. And that's how I feel about chess, just having fun. But the similarities for sure is just how I'm a super intense guy. And when I'm into something, I make it my entire life. And that's how I've felt about chess, learning, opening positions and lines and just this stuff. I love that, like, I could sit down in like a coffee shop or at a bar or something and like with any random person and kind of smack them.
Yeah.
Because your average person is like, oh, I know how to play. And that's cool. But then Joe destroys my soul.
Either that, they always tell you like, oh, no, I was a chess champion, or I was, really, or there's some story like that, and you're like, okay, let's play, right?
Yeah, 6th grade, bro.
Yeah.
I was killing it, and I'm like, all right, let's go. You're like 39 now. Yeah.
Yeah, 6th grade, a long time ago. But what you were saying there about like structured versus just having fun, and in chess, sometimes I'm guessing you play your best chess when you're just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Do you find it's the same in music? Like if you're just
Yeah, for sure. Once again, there's a time and place, right? Like, you know, John Cleese, when he spoke at Harvard, he talked about this thing called open creative and closed creative. And I think the best way to explain this for any traditional gamer out there who enjoys video games is like, if you were going to a GameStop, for example, and there's, I don't know, the new Halo that's coming out, and you're playing the demo, you're just enjoying it. Like, you're like, oh, I died. This is great. Oh, I dropped my gun. Oh my God.
It's new or whatever.
Exactly. But when you get that home and you're trying to get through a level, you're like, no, I have to do this. You become closed creative. So it's like open and closed. And I try to apply that to various aspects of my life, from chess to music. And I think when I'm in the studio or when I'm with friends, no matter who it is, and I'm just playing chess, I'm not overthinking it. I'm having fun. I'm being open. I'm having a good time. Maybe having a scotch, just chilling. Definitely having a scotch. but
trying to get Joe to have a scotch, you know.
Yes, and the same can be applied with my music. And yeah, like I love going to the studio, not overthinking it. Maybe we want to do a fun trap song today. Maybe I want to sing over guitar. Like, you know, you shouldn't allow. I guess you don't want to be in this closed format all the time of like, this has to be this way and this has to get done. And sorry, not to keep going on and talking, but even like now in fatherhood, because my son's almost 2 years old, and I noticed he's really smart, and sometimes he likes to play with his toys, or, you know, if the circle is supposed to go in a certain way to the, you know, shape. I noticed there's a lot of other parents who, if their children are playing with a toy that's not really the right way, they'll say, no, you know, it should be done this way. And I noticed that me and my wife, we do our best to let them know how to play with the toy, or excuse me, its function, like how it was designed and created. But then it's like, dude, if you want to throw that thing through the square and try to, like, let people be open, let them have fun. And that's why I'm so obsessed with chess.
That's amazing, fascinating. My wife as a teacher would. I won't go on to that. We could talk about this forever, because with our kids, we do the same sort of thing. Anyway, I love that. And you know, you were mentioning just before about how you've gone through different stages of there's open creative, closed creative. Recently, your whole music career, you've been doing different stuff. At one point, you kind of retired, and you kind of came back and were exploring completely different sort of stuff, right? Now you're working on a new album. You said I was allowed to say that, right?
Yes.
Okay,
totally.
so it's cool for me to say that, right?
Yeah.
But you know, I think for chess players, there are times where you learn to love the labor itself. The labor of the love is what you learn to love, right? The struggle. Yes. You know it's real, but there's a grind to getting better. Then there are times where you're not up for that, and it is more about the creative. Like I'll play an opening I don't know, right? Just to mess around and blitz. Has it been like that for music over the last couple of years? You had a ton of success, and now you've been kind of bouncing around. But tell us a little bit about that.
What a fire question.
Sorry about that.
No, that's great.
I thought of it right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always ups and downs. I think my biggest struggle personally was more so with social media, because I came up in an era with, you know, it was like me, Mac Miller, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. We all utilized social media as a platform. Now you would go, oh, duh, yeah, I create a social media platform and promote myself, duh. But like, this didn't exist back in the day. So for it to have been my entire life, and then, you know, internet's not really the best place to be. And I've seen it go from this really like loving support place to then everyone has an opinion and XYZ and all this other stuff. And I think I really equated my own personal worth to that. You know, I was like on Instagram and stuff getting, you know, I would post like 10 stories a day, and every story would have 1 million views or that. And I was really equating my self-worth to like how many likes I have or how many this or how many that. And I needed to really step away from that. Wow. And so that's when I took that time to retire and be a better father and a better husband as best as I can be, because that's what's most important to me. And also make dope music. And then I realized, like, oh, I don't need to retire to say this or do this. I just don't need to engage in that part of music / my career any longer. I'm going to do what I used to do when I was 14, make dope music that I think is cool, that my friends like, make a bunch of fucking money and go tour around the world. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
And I mean, you're talking about social media and doing what you want to do. Like you stream on Twitch, and of course you stream music and rap, but you also stream some chess tournaments. So what can people expect from you on streaming?
Yeah, honestly, so I was streaming for a long time. That was fun. Twitch gave me the bag. That was dope. But the thing that I really love, it's my favorite thing is just to stream with Joe Bruin. Joe Bruin, shameless plug. Joe Bruin. Oh yeah, there's a microphone there. Yeah, because he created the Bobby Boy Chess Club, which is so fire, and all my fans and different people who just enjoy it can come, and he runs it. And then what we do is I while we're streaming, he's next to me, like commentating.
Yeah.
And then I'll put headphones in and not listen, and then he's like says all the things that I'm doing wrong.
You ran a tournament recently for all your fans.
Yeah.
And I wasn't planning on doing this, but if one of our moderators or if someone could share a link to the Bobby Boy fan club, I don't know whether you're going to keep running tournaments or not. But
we're going to do it
if they're fans.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, man. I want to talk to you about the fun stuff here, but anyway, it's great to hear about the experience. I want to ask one question I also didn't plan on asking.
I'm also chilling, so I don't feel like you got to rush.
You were recently on a show, for those who don't know, Apple TV, Mr. Corman.
Yeah.
And shout out to Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It was amazing. My wife and I really loved it, and our boy here was in it. Your character, you talked about the impact of social media, right? How you leveraged and used it effectively before everybody leveraged and is using it effectively.
Yeah.
You were also playing chess before PogChamps, before it was cool, by the way. I just want to say that.
I try.
Your character in the show, without giving any spoilers of where that goes and what happens, is really a reflection in some ways of the negative parts of social media, what it can do to someone's self-obsession with a brand and maybe the negativity you felt that had you step away. Tell us a little bit about how enjoyable that was for you to act. It was your debut, right? Your career in acting is also getting going. And how you related to the character that you played in Joseph Gordon-Levitt's new show.
It's funny because I definitely, the character's name is Dax, and I definitely related in the sense of years ago, I felt like there was a part of me, because this dude's a total douchebag.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm pretty nice.
I didn't mean it like that.
No,
I
know.
The social media thing, yeah.
And yeah, a couple years ago, like when that was my whole life and everything that I was constantly thinking about was like likes and do people like me and blah, 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 and just all this stuff. This character is like obsessed with that part of the world and kind of where we are technologically and the things that we mainly tend to focus on nowadays. And so I, as a person who had been there, I had a lot to take away from that and kind of build on the character with. And it was super fun. It was crazy. It was, honestly, another thing that I really enjoyed about it was how, okay, check this out. So it's funny because during PogChamps, I was in LA filming that, and there's only 3 things that have ever really made my heart race. Well, 4 things. The first thing is like hip hop, like getting on a stage in front of 20,000 people and performing your song for fans. That's like amazing. The second thing is my fine ass wife. Okay. And the third thing is acting. So like, wait, did I already say that? No, I didn't say that.
No,
yeah, I said
good.
Sorry. Is acting and like being at a round table with people who are professionals and you feel like you're a phony and it's like, oh my God. And you deliver, and it feels so great that, I took the time to learn my lines, and I'm with these people that I idolize, and like, I'm holding my own. That was really, really fun. And the fourth thing is chess. Dude, when I was playing PogChamps, I was so nervous.
I remember we talked, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, just against, in general, like, I was like, oh my God, like, it's so crazy, just the concept of like, because I'd never competed in anything in my life.
Right.
I was too poor to afford, like, jerseys to play basketball or baseball or anything like that, so it was really amazing. And I also just love how kind the community is, and it's really, you guys are all really cool, and the people who support you are amazing and that are watching and playing. It's like it's just such a special thing, and that's why I do it. You know what I mean? Like I play chess because I love it, and I've been so honored to meet incredible people like yourselves and everybody behind the camera and running all this awesome stuff. And and sexy Joe Bruin.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're talking about like a lot of perception, right? Social media, and even when you're on stage rapping, people are sort of judging you in a way, right?
Yeah.
And
sure.
you recently wrote some memoirs.
Yeah.
So what was that like, and how did it feel to tell your own story?
It was cool to tell my own story because there was no YouTube comment section. You know what I mean? It's almost like before this, every time I would talk about struggles or, whether it's with being broke or race or, issues in the world or blah, 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 it's always like immediately met on Twitter or Instagram with like a bunch of people's opinions. The thing I love about books is you got to like kind of give a shit to read somebody's entire book and then have an opinion. And I think if you're that invested, whether you agree with many of the things that I touch on or just a few, or you disagree with them, I think you'll also understand that, you know, my thought process behind writing this and, you know, the specific words I chose and all this, like, I care about what I'm saying. And I think somebody who reads the book can really respect that. But it was cool to go through my life. Yeah,
I've read the whole thing.
Nice.
And we've talked, and then I've been reading it back in parts with different stuff that I'm doing that you know about. But yeah. I wanted to say, like, one of the things that really resonated with me, a word I wanted to use was fearless. Like, the book is just like, you share things that are like inspiring to make people want to be honest about in their life. And you said, again, there's no YouTube comment section, right? But I know you told me personally that part of it was therapy for you. It was about getting it all out there. So share a little bit about that process and what changed you from start to the end of writing your memoir.
Well, yeah, I mean, I talked about the craziest stuff, from shooting guns and cooking crack cocaine and, you know what I mean, having a dad that wasn't there, and a mother on drugs and alcohol, and brothers running the streets on some gang shit, and like the wildest stuff. But then overcoming that, like not getting into drugs and alcohol because of seeing, I mean, now I have a scotch every night, but seeing how that essentially affected my mother and my father and my family in a negative way. And like, dude, I spent my whole life in AA meetings, I think, and I kind of equate that to being able to know when to stop or how many to have or things like that. So that was a difficult thing to talk about. I mean, I talk about one of the worst things I ever did, which I want you to read the book if you want to find out. And it's a horrible thing. I did a terrible thing. And I don't like, I'm a human being. I know everyone in this room has done something just as bad as what I did as a kid. I was a child. But, and it's like to talk about that, to have that kind of Joel, eternal sunshine of a spotless mind moment with the bird, and to be open and honest about that is extremely important. And it was cathartic and very therapeutic. And yeah, I mean, it was a wild ride to like kind of go, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
That's another thing. Like, I had fun writing it and just like cracking jokes and making fun of myself and everyone in my life and just kind of going in on people. It was great.
You're a New York Times bestselling author twice now.
Yes.
What was the difference? I mean, obviously a huge difference, right? Memoir about your life, but I also love Supermarket. And how much of yourself was in Supermarket?
Honestly, it's like basically two memoirs almost, because Supermarket was like, I was going through a lot of, I was like going through depression and extreme anxiety, derealization, where you almost feel like you're not connected to the world around you in a way. And, you know, not a lot of people were talking about this at all in hip hop, you know, let alone like just entertainment. And a lot of that's changed. And I'm actually really proud to say that I know, you know, things like my song 1-800, which, you know, discusses suicide prevention and things like that, was a kind of leeway into those conversations and being more open to the masses as far as that topic goes. But before that, I just like felt I didn't know what I was gonna do. I felt like I was at my wit's end, and so I decided to create this character named Flynn and kind of pour my entire self onto these pages, and it was so therapeutic. And by the time I was done, my depression had really left, and it's so much of my anxiety. And then I got super famous when 1-800 came out, and then that's a whole nother thing of like wave of anxiety and crazy stuff that you go through when all eyes are kind of on you. But yeah, man, that's the more fun sci-fi version of the reality of what happened.
His relationship with Frank. Sci-fi version, but very, very honest and real again. Well, I like you said, we're chilling, could sit here and talk about this all day, but I guess I'll ask one more question about what's next for Logic. You're working on a new album. Are you going back a little more toward what your fans traditionally would have come to expect?
You know what's funny? It's both. I haven't talked about this publicly yet, so it's like exclusive
breaking.
But yeah, man, it's called College Park, and it is a wild ride. And I guess like the long story short is it takes place in 2011 and literally opens up with me sleeping on Big Lenny's couch, the guy who took me in when I was homeless and didn't have anywhere to live. And it's basically a day in the life of a 21-year-old Logic back in the day. and then you kind of go through this time travel thing, and then it brings you to the present, and then you kind of get to hear the music I'm really making currently. And it's full of substance, fun stories. I wrote the entire, I mean, there's like skits, like,
oh wow,
a bunch of my albums have these kind of Orson Welles audio cinematic experience of like these skits, and I wrote them all out in a script, and it's hilarious and dope, and I think I hope people will like it. Yeah, but besides that, being a dad, being a good husband, doing the best that I can to be those things. Filming a movie in LA in January, so I'll be gone, and then I'm just chilling. I'll probably go on tour next year. I think we'll see what's up with the COVID, but yeah, I feel pretty good. I'm excited. Yeah.
I got nothing else. Have you you had a chance? You're obviously a super busy guy. Have you watched any of the World Championship match so far? Or?
Dude, I haven't.
No, zero pressure. Just curious.
No, I haven't. I haven't been able to. Literally, I was like, I hope I can get here today. Like, yeah. But no, it's so weird. But I always love recapping anyway. Yeah, it's always fun.
So glad you made it, man.
Also shout out Joe, because Joe will tell me. He'll be like, I know. Jordan's like, yo, Bob. Joe's literally like, yo, so-and-so beat so-and-so, beat this, did it, like all this, and I love it, and it's really special.
Well, Joe will definitely keep you informed, especially if we get a decisive game. Just draws so far. Just draws, so which happens a lot.
Yeah, you're so sexy, dude.
High level chess. Anyway, man, well, this has been awesome. I got nothing else. I mean, like, we could chill all day.
I just want to know when your first rap about chess is going to be.
Oh.
My first what? Rap about chess?
Yeah. About chess.
I actually have a rap. I don't know if it made freestyle. No, I'm not Harry Mack.
How hard is it to do? If some people look at Harry Mack and they're like, because he was looking at the monitor and they thought he had scripted it, but actually we just gave him bullet points that he's required to work in.
Yeah.
Not like a script. He's required to work these in.
Yeah, but that's normal. Like any great, so he's a fantastic freestyler.
Yeah.
And I discovered him through Joe. Everything's Joe. Everything's Joe. Yeah.
But it is hard what he does, right? It's like,
yeah, no, of course.
The rapper telling people, what Harry Mack does is
Logic.
hard.
We're here on the scene. I look over here and see a white and black queen. Know what I mean?
Love it.
Winning Charlie Sheen. But yeah. No, yeah, what he does is dope, man. There's like, and I'm sure he knows of this dude named, somebody said, who the hell is this guy? On the chat. I love it. Supernatural. And Supernatural is like one of the OG freestylers, him, Craig Mack, like these really incredible guys. And that's what they do. They literally will just like, I used to do this. I would just study the dictionary and the thesaurus like all day long.
Wow.
So that you know, kind of learn how to, you just have this like arsenal. I mean, Eminem did it as well, but it's just as well, sell, hell, here we go. Like it's just taking these different flows and making it kind of work. But yeah, it's fun.
Awesome.
Actually,
Harry's really good.
I do have one more question for you because
I'm chilling, bro.
I coach Harry in chess, and he said that actually being a freestyle rapper sometimes hurts his chess because you're looking for rhymes, but you're kind of with yourself and you're trying to map it out. But in chess, there's an opponent. So do you feel that being a musician, a rapper, that could sometimes hurt you because you're going down a path and not always taking into account what's changing the position after your opponent's move?
Nah. I'd be thinking about the change in position. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is what I thought it was gonna be. But Joe's really helped me with that. Sorry, I know it's like the Joe show, but Joe's really helped me with that, man. Like he's taught me to be more patient, to take the time, and have fun with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, amazing stuff. We'll have Harry on the 30th, and we're going to be throwing him some cues, and then he'll have to keep rapping. So I was going to say maybe at some point we have a chess rap battle.
We should just,
not because that
just beef.
Sounds so easy.
I'm just going to beef with it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you suck. No, you don't. You're great. You're fantastic. But yeah, swag.
Well, man, this has been awesome. And again, for those of you who missed the direct call to action, if you want to get This Bright Future, a memoir by Sir Robert Hall, Bobby Hall, you can pick it up. That is Logic's memoir that is still a bestseller as we speak right now.
Or don't.
Or don't. Up to you. But it's not. He came here to just talk chess. I'm the one pumping the book because I loved it so much. So hope that everyone enjoyed our take here, and don't go anywhere because we're going to give you our final takes on Game 2 of the 2021 FIDE World Chess Championship when we return.